You're highly welcome to Youth Development Show, episode 7. I'm on the topic overcoming depression steps. A lot of young individuals are depressed in one way or the other due to several reasons. Possibly they don't have as much money as their counterparts. They have so much money and they put in so much effort, but they do not get what they truly want. That's one major issue. Another reason why a lot of people are depressed is possibly because of loved ones. So many reasons can make people. So during the course of this training, be learning how to remove depression, how to come out of depression, and how to improve or develop your mental health. This is a very great training. Do well to inform others. Those people that you have in your message box, tell them that there is a training currently going on via Future Setters Institute. Otasowie Victor. Just do well to do that. Then also do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we have been training people on leadership, work ethics, and personal development. So it is great to have you all following us right now in our youth development show. Also, in our midst, we have a very great personality, the person of Mr. Dominion, in the person of Dr. Dominion Iyafekhe. And he is a psychologist and also a trainer. He trains young individuals on mental health and how they can become a better version of themselves, how they can come out of depression. So he's very experienced in this. Also, I'm going to be your host for today's program. So do well to stay with us while you learn so much on this topic. So once more, I'm going to be welcoming Mr.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Victor. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Because I know
Dr.
the network is having some
Dominion.
issues. But can you hear me? Yes, Mr. Victor, can you hear me?
Are you with
Since
me?
we're having some, I don't know if you can hear me. Yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can I go on?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can.
Thank you so much for that wonderful intro. My name is Dominion Iyafekhe, like Mr. Victor said,
Sure,
and this is a very
you
powerful.
can.
Can you hear me now?
Sure, you can.
All right, so my name is Dr. Dominion Iyafekhe, and just like Mr. Victor said, it's a very important topic that we're about to look into. It's something that has eaten into the minds of many and
Go on, please.
caused a
Go
lot
on.
of
You can.
damages. All right, I'm already speaking. Can you? I don't know. I think the network is lagging. I'm already talking. I'm already talking. Can you hear me now? I think your network is lagging or so. What can we do about it?
Okay. You can proceed. You can proceed.
All right. So basically, we're going to be looking at mental health, how to overcome depression. So it's a very important topic, and it is very good that we pay attention. First, I want to say thank you to Mr. Victor for putting up this together to help youth. So many youth are suffering from mental health issues in our community today, and it's a very timely topic. So first, before I go on to talk on how we can build our mental health and overcome depression, I would like to define these two subjects, mental health and depression, what they are. So when you talk about mental health, what comes to mind? Mental health is basically a category of three things: your emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So if you have any of these factors not in place, we will say that you have mental health issues or illness, as the case may be. So for you to say you have a very sound mental health, your emotional, psychological, and what social well-being must be intact, because these factors, these parameters affect how you feel, how you think, how you relate with people, your behaviors in general. So that is how we classify mental health. So we say that you are healthy mentally based on these three factors. Now, what is depression? Now, this is depression is basically a common condition of mental health. So we'll say depression is a condition that affects mental health, which basically is a long-term form of sadness that progress over a long time, sometimes weeks, sometimes longer time, as the case may be, that will affect how we feel, how we think, and how we behave. So those are the things that generally classify mental health and depression. Before I go into depression, which is like the major focus for today, I would like to explain, one thing is common, like Mr. Victor was saying just now. Some persons, the reason why, it's funny though, but the reason why they are in the state that they are currently can be because they don't have money. So many persons are depressed because of lack of funds. Yes. Yeah, a lot of persons are depressed because of little issues. So I want to quickly drive into an area before we come into those persons that are currently depressed as a mental health issues right now. Because I believe on this life we might have persons that are here for their loved ones, or probably persons that are actually depressed and want answers and how they can come out of it, or persons that just want to have knowledge so that they will not be in the situation of being depressed. I don't know if you understand. So, first, how do you position yourself not to even be in a state of depression? Mr. Victor mentioned something just now because there are a lot of things that can make us to be depressed. There are a lot of things, sometimes outside our control, such as trauma, let's say the loss of loved one, and a whole lot of other things. Okay, so but there is a way to position yourself, especially as a young individual, to avoid depression. And permit me to use this scripture to drive this point home. There's a part of the Bible that says that guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. One of those issues of life is depression. So, what was the Bible trying to say when it says that we should guard our heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issue of life? Is that the mind, as a young person, your mind is your greatest tool. Whatever happens to you first will happen to you from your mind. So I can tell you that there is somebody out there currently that is depressed because in his or her mind, he or she feels that if he or she does not have the, let's say, the monetary value or the money required to get the latest iPhone, for example, he or she will not be happy because in the mind, what gives that person joy is to have the latest iPhone or to be able to follow the trends of iPhone. I don't know if you are getting me. Another person could say that because I cannot, in my mind, this boy is too fine, this girl is too fine. If I don't have this boy in my life, I'm worthless. I'm a fool. I don't have the money. A lot of things that happen in the mind first. From there, those persons will now walk into what depression because of the state of their mind. So one thing you should do, or one thing you should know as an individual, as a young person, is that the state of your mind must be at the right point to avoid any issue. In this case, depression. What are you thinking? What are your desires? What are you aiming at? What gives you joy? Those things contribute to things that can either lead you to depression or lead you to a life of happiness, irrespective of what you have or what you don't have. There's a problem among young people, Mr. Victor, that is called the issue of instant gratification. In fact, this is one of the leading cause for my research and observation. It's one of the leading cause of what depression in young people. Take for instance, Mr. Victor. Recently, people started crying online from is it CBEX or something, CBEX or so,
Yeah.
that they were duped or something like that. Now, the problem with people
Yeah.
is that every young person, every individual out there is seeking for instant gratification, and life does not work like that. So, because of that, they make decisions, they put in their resources to get instant gratification, then the result will lead to depression and sorrow. You get what I'm saying, right? So, young people should move from the idea of instant gratification to delayed gratification because life is in phases and human beings are in sizes. You have to live your size per time. This is how to position yourself as a young person first. If you position yourself and position your mind right, it is very, very, very difficult for you to have issues when it comes to your mind, or when it even comes to life issues such as depression. But like I said, there are things that could actually lead one to depression, such as the loss of a loved one, which most times is like a major cause of depression, or trauma. So now, how do you, let's say one is suffering from depression now, to try to be fast, I don't know if I have so much time now. Okay, Mr. Victor, you can still hear me, right? So how do you now overcome depression? Let's say you are depressed as an individual, because it's really something that sometimes we cannot control. Like I said, sometimes we cannot control depression. But when we are in a depressed state, how do you get out from this state? How do you leave that state? Because you cannot be there forever. Now, one of the first rules for overcoming depression is what I call acknowledging the reality of depression. Now, acknowledging that you are depressed, or acknowledging the situation you are, doesn't mean you don't have faith in yourself, or doesn't mean you don't believe anymore. It's actually a stage to healing. Are we together? Acknowledging first that there's an issue, acknowledging that you have an issue. You could see that your life, your emotional, your psychological, and your social life is already having issues, is the first stage to recovery. Are we together? Mr. Victor, you can still hear me, right?
I'm
Can you
with you.
still hear
Don't worry.
me?
Yes.
All right. So,
Yes, I can.
all right, that is the first stage. All right, that's the first stage of recovery. So we must acknowledge that yes, I'm depressed. Something is wrong. The moment you acknowledge that, just like the saying that says, uh, uh, a problem shared is half solved. In this case, if you acknowledge a problem, I could tell you that the tendency of that thing being solved is almost 100%. Yeah, because you have acknowledged that there's an issue. So it is now easier for you to look for modalities and strategies to get out of that situation. Please let me say this before I proceed. Just in case you are in a depressed state, this video or this teaching is basically to expose your mind and gear you towards getting help. This video should not be the last resort you should focus on. In some severe case of depression, you have to seek out to medical or professional what assistance. Please let's note this. Let me say this. But just in case after this video you want to still reach out for more counseling and coaching, please reach out. But listen to what I have to say. This will help you. Another thing you should look at is, after acknowledging that there's an issue, the next thing is talk to someone. You have to talk to someone. Yes, people will say, well, I have trust issues. You have trust issue with people, but there must be someone in your life. There must be someone, could be your pastor, could be a mentor. There must be someone you can talk to. Because the problem about depression is this: the moment one is depressed, there's a tendency for what is called isolation. Are you getting me? There's a tendency for isolation. So the more isolated you are, the more severe, or the more depression gets hold on you. So you must have the courage, meet someone you trust, and share that problem with them. Because depression will make you to want to isolate. But connecting with people, talking with people is healing process. Sharing that pain and burden is healing process. Do you get? So that's one strategy, or another strategy you must use to overcome depression. Like I said before, one of the key strategies to get out of depression very fast is what? Seeking professional help. Yes, in some cases of depression, you need to meet therapists or counselors to help you, to guide you, to manage the situation. Okay, these persons are trained on how to manage depression. Okay, in fact, in severe cases, you also need to reach out to what? To medical practitioners, doctors, depending on how severe this mental issue is for that particular individual. So you must seek professional help. Please, do seek professional help when you feel that the situation is really out of control, please. Another thing is you must create a simple and daily routine. Now, you might be asking, what does that have to do with depression? Now, this is it. When you are depressed, little things, little tasks usually looks overwhelming. That the little tasks you do normally, things you naturally would just do, become so overwhelming. So you must find a system to create simple routines. Instead of saying that you want to clean the house, you can decide to just clean a chair, because doing a lot of tasks for someone who is depressed is overwhelming already. So you must cut your routine or create a routine system that is simple and into segments in order to help you recover fast from that situation. So that's another strategy to use. Now, there's another strategy that is key to overcoming depression, which is moving your body. Like I said before, one thing depression does is to make you to want to isolate. When you are isolated, you don't want to do anything. You don't want to be active. And when you're not active, in fact, depression feeds on it. Okay? So you have to move your body, do things like exercise, brisk walking, because exercise normally release natural endorphins, which boosts excitement or boosts mood. Endorphins help to boost your mood generally. So when you engage in exercise and some little physical activity that helps you move your body, you feel better and your mood is usually what better. Another strategy I have here is what I call getting quality sleep. Sleep is one of the strategies to overcome depression. You don't want to just sit down and be thinking about all your inabilities or how you have failed, how you have made a very serious mistake. How no. And if you dwell on that, depression takes away your sleep. Yes, it takes away your quality time to sleep. And when you're not sleeping well, you're not functioning well, you're stressing your brain, you're stressing your body. So you have to what? Get quality sleep. I said you can do this one by having a plan. You have to actually plan when to sleep, when to wake up, when to do a particular thing. Create your routine right. Okay. You also need to avoid the screen, like using your phone or watching TV so much, because sometimes there are things you see that naturally influence you or even make you to be reaffirming some of the negative thoughts that you have. So you must learn to have quality sleep time if you must overcome depression and overcome it very fast. Another thing I would advise you as a medical person is that nutrition. You may not know how important this is that, but nutrition is very important for those persons and even anybody generally who is passing through depression. You must learn to feed well, because your brain needs it to be active and you need it for energy. You don't want to be in a state where you are so weak. In fact, when you are weak in the body, the tendency of you being depressed more is high. So you must feed well, eat balanced diets, and be the best version of yourself when it comes to your diet. Don't deprive yourself of food. Don't abstain for food because of that situation. If you are doing that, you will not help yourself. And please take note of this. Another thing is, I've said it before, but I want to emphasize it more, is that you have to break big tasks. Let's say you have an assignment, you have a project, you have to find a way to break big tasks into smaller ones. Because, like I said, for someone who is depressed, tasks, assignments, projects, structures are usually overwhelming for them. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with the activities or maybe your job or anything you're doing, or even family call or family duties. You want to break down your schedule so that you can have time to rest and have quality sleep. Okay? So one of the ways to do that, like I wrote here, is to what? Create a system. You can actually plan your 24 hours can be planned, and you effectively what? Use them to help your body and mind. Okay. Another thing that is common among people that are depressed is negative thoughts. There's this famous quote I love so much that says, "A man is but a product of his thoughts, what he believes he becomes." So oftentimes when we are depressed, we start thinking that we are the worst people in the world, nothing is working around our life. Negative thoughts just come. In fact, sometimes suicidal thoughts in most severe cases. You'll be thinking about death, thinking about killing yourself, committing suicide. You must shun negative thoughts by feeding yourself with positive thoughts, by listening to positive messages, by telling yourself that you are more than enough, by reciting positive affirmation. Okay, so that is another strategy to what overcome depression. Negative thought is real, it's common, it's one of the driving force for what depression. Please learn to positively tell yourself who you are. Say to yourself what you believe, what you want to see, and not what you're just thinking about. Okay, so when those thoughts come in, shun them. No, my life can be better, I can do better, I can be more. This is not my end. Say things that will boost your mindset and position you for a better life. Now, one thing again you should avoid is what we call isolation. You need to avoid isolation. The natural characteristic of depression is to want to isolate you. You want to be alone. If you are not an introvert before, you will automatically become an introvert. You want to become an introvert. You want to be on your own. You just see you sometimes you see people and you are scared, maybe because of your particular experience or what led to your own depression. But you must avoid staying alone, because when you're alone, it will fuel depression, it will fuel negative thoughts, and it will fuel even negative behavior. Okay? So avoid depression. Okay? Now, in your process of healing, there's something that, again, from my experience, that is common. When we are trying to heal from depression, we should understand that there's what we call patience. Patience is key, because when you are trying to overcome depression, it takes time. It will happen in time. It will not happen instantly. You will not get the result of wholeness once. So what I will advise is that you celebrate little wins. Do what makes you happy. If you are not able to achieve a big goal at a time, if it's just a little thing you can achieve, be happy with it. Celebrate that win. And like I said, understand that life is in phases. The healing process of depression is in phases. You have to celebrate each stage at a time. If after this video, what you can acknowledge is that actually I think I'm mentally not stable, or I'm depressed, is progress. Celebrate that. Do you understand? So you celebrate little progress and you move on gradually, bit by bit, precept upon precept. As you follow through the process, you become whole again. You get hold of your mental health and you have the best experience after. So those are basically some of the practical steps you can take to get over depression. And just to recap, I said something. There are persons, for me, I just feel like I cannot be depressed because the position of your mind as a young person matters a lot in what you experience as you grow, as you sojourn through life. We must take our mind seriously, and we must know what is worthy of, how do I say it now? And let me say this, Mr. Victor. There are some persons, again, that are depressed because of their lack of contentment. Some people are just not too content. Because of that, you want to do so many things. You want to put your hand into what you're not supposed to be doing at the time, because of maybe societal pressure, peer group pressure, all of that. You don't need it. Settle in your mind that life has process. Don't try to want to do or get. Maybe you are just a student in school, university. You want to get $1 billion. I don't know how you want to do that, but not saying it's not possible. But let that not be the cruise of your life. But because if you have certain goals that does not match with your growth process, it will lead you to certain behaviors, certain decisions that might lead to destruction, that will consequently lead to what? Depression. So you want to have a very good mindset, a very healthy mental health, so that you don't have issues as you sojourn as a young person. So I think I'll be stopping here. Probably there's question or anything, you let me know. So Mr. Victor, over to you. Thank you, sir. Mr. Victor, are you there? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? Mr. Victor, can you hear me? Okay, I think there's a little network issue currently. So um, please, if you have questions, those of us online, I can't see any. But if you have questions, you can just drop so we talk about them and um, we progress. I think Mr. Victor is having a little network glitch. Mr. Victor, are you still there?
Okay, so depression comes from a thought of inferiority. Depression comes from a thought of inferiority, facing a lot of problems. So once more, I want to appreciate Mr. Dominion Iyafekhe for giving us a very great lecture on the topic. We do appreciate you for this you talked about is acknowledging that you are depressed. If one can acknowledge that is depressed, that is the first step. If you can acknowledge it, so that's even the first thing I'm going to talk about now. You have to accept it. You have to accept, you have to recognize, you have to work on yourself. So, three great mnemonics. A W. Recognition, just like he said, acknowledging that I have this particular people first step. Then another thing is accept yourself. ask yourself is himself is, do I easily get offended when people say some words to us? People say certain words to us. They just tell you this, tell you that, and you just get offended about it. You start thinking about what the person said. You start feeling bad about it. You have low self-esteem. These are some of the things that leads to this depression. I have low self-esteem. Do I always feel that no one loves me in that particular environment I'm in? Okay, I'm in a particular place. Nobody really hates me and all that. That can lead to depression. That one, do you love to stay in isolation? Just like Dr. Iyafekhe said, do you love to stay in isolation on your own without collaborating with others when you know that collaboration is very important for growth? The next question is, do I have suicidal thoughts running from my mind on a daily basis? So I'm just thinking of, I'm having suicidal thoughts, thinking of killing myself, thinking of hurting myself and all that, and leads to depression. Do you feel poverty? Do you feel that lack of money is a major setback for others are rich, others have money? You are thinking of doing fetish things or doing unnecessary things just to, come out of, that particular situation. This is another thing that leads to problems come at the end of the day. So you actually need to study yourself. Some of these some of these questions, some of these questions, when you really examine them, when you really examine these questions, you observe that are they actually in turn lead to depression? Answer these questions well. It will in turn lead to depression. So do you have uh, are you addicted? Are you addicted to certain things? Maybe drugs. You're addicted to marijuana. You're addicted to codeine. You're addicted to step by step. The ideal thing to do. All this leads to depression. Do you have a longing to relate? It comes from a lot of things. Have you lost almost all your money to scam? Think about it. All this also leads to depression. You have so much money before. The money was so big. You had 20 million, and one day someone just duped you of your money, and you are thinking of how to come out of it. All this leads to depression because you are thinking of, I've suffered all my life just to have money, but able to really push. Okay, so I've suffered to get money, but one thing that actually happened is that I lost all the money. I worked. So many issues, so many problems, so many problems in one way or the other can lead to depression. So all we just have to do is look at these questions for the other. We may fall under some of these categories. Yes, you may have lost money due to scam, maybe a relationship, maybe you love someone so much, and maybe you invested in the person's schooling. It's another problem that happens in Nigeria. So you invested in somebody's schooling, you paid for the person's schooling to the end. After everything, the person now disappointed you, got married to another person. This can lead to depression. A lot of
Mm.
people take uh, uh, they take poisonous substances to kill themselves. They hurt themselves. feel that is the only amount of money I have at that moment. How can I come out of such a situation? Go and sleep. Sleep. Get yourself. Relax. Come out. You will just have to go through such a situation. And the thing is, all these things, this understand that depression is not the end of the world. We can push through, we can come out of such situations. It may have, but at the end of the day, after this time, we can come out and do better, even do better than the way the situation we are in currently. Just like Mr. Dominion, Dr. Dominion Iyafekhe said, you have to accept, you have to acknowledge that you are depressed. You acknowledge that you are depressed. You reach out to people that are trained, people that are specialized in you can reach out to tell them the problems you are going through. Possibly you don't know the triggers, you don't know what causes depression. Or when you've been able to speak out to someone, tell someone that this is the problem I'm going through, I need help, has already in turn stopped to an extent. Then when person now provides solution to the problem, that has also reduced the body. And when we take steps, when we take actionable steps, helps us in a long way. So I'm telling you some of the answers. Some of the answers to the questions I said under the working on the self. The first one is, do you easily get offended when people say a lot of things, some certain things to you, and these things just in turn makes you feel depressed? So one thing you need to know, people will, you have to accept the fact that about you, no matter, even if when you're doing a lot of good things, doing a lot of great things, awesome things, and people that are so experienced, they see you doing those things, they may tell you that this is not the right way to do it. This is not the right. This is the way we are doing it. But as a person that wants to grow, you have to accept that this person is in turn teaching you. Yes, he's sharing ideas, but don't to ensure that I am good at what I do. I believe in what I'm going to say to this person, and know that my so about other people saying all sorts of, I don't worry about all those people saying all sorts of things to you, trying to demotivate you to do all those things. These are things that affect us. We now become depressed in the end. So we should try to understand, try to love ourselves. Love ourselves. In the morning, there's this guy. What happened was his way of dressing different from every other person. Yes, he dressed right. If you see the way he dresses, sometimes he will dress with his clothes has feathers, has certain things. It's a fashion somehow. I don't really like the way you're dressing. When people say all sorts of things about him to that extent, they are wearing that clothes. One guy told me, he said, Victor, every morning I have a mirror in my room. I look at the mirror which says, I am awesome, I am this and that, things about me. I believe in myself, I love myself. And every moment when people saying, why are you dressing like this? Why you are not looking good? You are like, you are calling attention for can make certain things like this can lead to depression because we don't value ourselves, don't know what we are doing, we don't value ourselves. For us to love ourselves as young individuals is very important. Then another thing is poverty, because you are poor, because to an extent you are people having cars, people doing all sorts of things, you now become depressed. You see some persons going to charm, they go to fetish places, just people that are doing very well, and in turn they hurt themselves, right? You see some people that are poor, right? Do something to fill that lack. That is one major challenge a lot of us have. We feel poverty is a lack, poverty is this, poverty is that, it limits us and all that. But we can actually come out. We can actually come out of poverty and be a bit okay. Live. You see, have you lost all your money? That's almost the same thing I talked about the other time. You see, a lot of people they fall scams, and when they fall for scams, they feel it's the end of the world. I'm here to tell you again that it's not the end of. But one thing that actually happens, mind becomes stronger. We are not able to face things. We see that this link is not ideal. There are things that are not secure. We end up going to do research to know the exact link we are supposed to click on, the exact thing we are supposed to do. But most times we just look at it at this, we just have to click everything. So hasty. Don't be so hasty to click links. Make sure you do you do your research, do certain things so you don't fall prey for scammers. And no matter how no matter how you trust, how much you trust someone, that person can still scam you. No matter how much you trust someone, someone else can use that person's name to scam you. money. So we should also be financially we should be financially prudent, and also know how to manage our costs. So don't go and fall prey for scam and something that you are. A man should come out and socialize, should relate with people. You know, most of the people, most of the people that become depressed usually have low self-esteem. And what happens when most of the people that become depressed have low self-esteem? And what happens when you have low self-esteem? You do not love yourself. People with high self-esteem, but people with low self-esteem do not love themselves. People are certain things, they just say it to you and you just feel bad, you start thinking about it. People say B to you, you start thinking about it, so you actually need to build your esteem, build your belief, your love for yourself. Try your possible best not to be in seclusion. Always try to network and relate to people. About eight tips which you can use to build your mental health. And I'm going to be relating it to not just life, but also your workplace. The first one is know your limits. Do not. So, in certain organizations, maybe some persons are teachers, right? So, what happens is that when they are teachers, you see there are principals, we just observe them, rate them, skill them, and see that this person is really good. It's not just good for mathematics. So know our limits. Know when to say no. Know when to say no. Not all opportunities you grab. Yes, we want the money. Not all opportunities we grab. Yes, we want the money, we want recommendation. Don't jump into accepting everything. Accept what you can handle. This will help you. Then don't abuse drugs and alcohol. One major thing biochemically is that when we take drugs, it affects the reward. It leads to a reward. There's a form of reward that occurs abuse certain drugs, and the result we get, it affects our health. It affects us in one way or the other. In turn leads to biomagnification. So you may just be accumulating it in little until when it finally leads to huge problems, right? So you actually need to know that those taking are affecting you. They are affecting you. But if you can, in turn, stop abusing these things, just live normally. Try to take food, water, exercise, do to maintain yourself. This will help you to grow. Try your possible best to read, be around environments that help you grow, be around people who motivate you to do what you love doing. You try to socialize. The kind of friends, the kind of friends you relate to. There are certain friends that you know that when you are with them, they just give you negative thoughts, negative emotions, and all that. You don't need to be around such people. You need to be like, you know, they are, you know, they are, and thank you for this. Thank you for that. Accept praises. Yes. Try your possible best. Praises. This is one thing that I always accept praises. Someone is telling you, you look beautiful, you look fine, you look great, have low self-esteem. They don't accept praises. The feeling is telling you, you are handsome, you are cute, you are this and that. If this person is laughing at me, this person is not really seeing anything, he's just trying to add and all that. But just know that this person sees something good in you, and the person appreciates that. We should try to accept praises, accept accolades, try to accept people. Then you true, no matter how huge the problem is, no matter how tough the challenge is, you can actually come out, you can actually succeed, you can actually do well if you are going through a lot of problems. But you just have out of these problems. You just have to come out of these problems. You have to come out, because people, a lot of people need you. But just because you decided to hide, because you decided not to market yourself, you decided to feel bad about yourself, they don't know you, right? Because you feel that no one loves you, no one values you, you decide. But one good thing is, if you can actually see potential, like I said, you love yourself, you value yourself, what you carry.
Mr. Victor, are you still there? I can barely hear you now. Hear me?
Welcome to Future Setters Institute, where we believe in empowering individuals to create a lasting impact in the world. Whether you are a student, a young professional, a coach, or a leader, this is your platform for growth, collaboration, and transformation. At Future Setters Institute, our mission is clear. We empower young minds to reach their full potential, provide mentorship, training, and opportunities for personal and professional development. We foster a strong support system because no one should feel alone on their journey. Our vision is to become a renowned training institute for leaders, a certified training and certification hub, and a trusted resource for individuals and families across Nigeria and Africa. What sets us apart? Accessibility. Our coaches and mentors are always within reach. Trust, efficiency, and professionalism. We are dedicated to excellence. Collaboration, bringing together professionals from all fields to inspire change. Growth and innovation, staying ahead and adapting to the world's evolving needs. People-centric approach, you are at the heart of everything we do. We care about you and we are ready to shaping everything we do in line with what you need. Join our community on Facebook and connect with like-minded individuals. Participate in our programs, mentorship sessions, and challenges. Follow us on our social media and stay updated on life-changing opportunities. Share your journey and engage with others to build a strong network of future setters. Let us grow together. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. Are you ready to take the next step? Join us today and become part of something greater. You need to become a future setter. Future setter. Future setter. God bless you.